Have you ever felt that God is, well, distant? Like you have to do something, be something, climb some kind of spiritual ladder just to get his attention? Yeah, that's a feeling a lot of us have. But today, we're diving into a passage in Romans, chapter 10, that absolutely shatters that whole idea. So let's just start with this one question, because it really gets to the core of everything. What if getting right with God isn't about you reaching up to him? What if it's about him already having reached down to you? What if he's closer than your own breath?
Okay, so let's talk about this instinct we all have. It seems to be baked into our DNA, doesn't it? The instinct to strive, to earn, to achieve. We do it at work, in our families, and we definitely try to do it with God. We think if I just try harder, if I'm just a little bit better, then I'll finally be acceptable.
And that striving just fills our heads with all these anxious questions. Who's going to make it to heaven? Who can possibly descend into the deep places to figure it all out? Who is actually qualified for this? See, all these questions, they're built on this one huge, faulty assumption, that God is far away and it's all on us to build the bridge to get to him.
But here's the good news, the great reversal that turns everything on its head. While we were busy trying to build our little ladders up to heaven, God came down. He already closed the distance. He did it for us in the person of Jesus Christ. This changes absolutely everything.
What this means is we can stop. We can just stop climbing. We can stop trying to earn our way into God's good graces. The work is already finished. Christ already came down from heaven, and Christ already went up from the dead. It's done.
So think about that for a second. The real tragedy isn't that God is impossibly far away. He's not. The real tragedy is our refusal to believe it. It's that we'd rather keep exhausting ourselves on the ladder, trying to save ourselves, than to simply turn around and accept the rescue that's already here.
Okay, so if we're not supposed to be striving, what are we supposed to be doing? What does faith actually look like? Well, according to Romans 10, it's way more than just a feeling or agreeing with some facts. It's a fundamental shift in who's in charge of your life. You know, when the Bible in Romans 10 verse 9 talks about believing in your heart, it doesn't just mean your emotions. It's talking about your command center, the mission control for your entire life, your thoughts, your ambitions, your will. So to believe in your heart means to surrender the very controls of your life over to Jesus. And what's in the heart? What's in that control center? Well, it has to come out, right? It shows up in what we say and what we do. Our mouths just become the loudspeaker for our new reality, declaring our new allegiance to Jesus for the whole world to hear. And that's why this simple little phrase, Jesus is Lord, is one of the most explosive statements a person can make. It's not just a nice prayer. It is a declaration of revolution. It's a transfer of power. It's saying, I'm no longer the king of my own life. There's a new authority here, and his name is Jesus.
And this confession isn't just wishful thinking. It's anchored in a real historical event, the resurrection. Because Jesus actually rose from the grave, we know God vindicated him. We know death has been defeated. We know that a new Lord is reigning over a new creation. The empty tomb is the proof that our allegiance is not misplaced.
So, how does this unbelievable, life-altering news get out? Not through some complicated program, not through some slick marketing. It moves through something beautifully simple. One person telling another person. God designed this incredible chain reaction. It all starts when someone is sent out with a message, then someone has to preach that message, then someone else has to hear it. From that hearing comes belief, and from that belief, a person calls on the name of the Lord. They put their trust in him, and they are saved. It's a beautiful, personal process. But here's what's so amazing about that process. Did you notice what's missing from that list? There's no temple, no altar, no complicated sacrifices or rituals. The entire religious system of human striving is just gone. The good news moves through the world on the breath of ordinary people. And this brings us to this final fascinating paradox. The message itself is so simple. The invitation is so near. And yet, for so many of us, it can be one of the hardest things in the world to actually accept. God's grace, his totally unearned favor, is right there. It's as available as the air you're breathing. So why do we find it so hard to just take it? Why do we resist something so incredibly good? It's hard because grace takes the controls out of our hands. It leaves no room for our pride. We can't boast about how we earned it. We can't bargain with God for it. We lose all of our moral leverage. We simply have to admit that we can't save ourselves, stop our striving, and fall into his arms. Quoting the prophet Isaiah, Romans chapter 10, verse 21, gives us this breathtaking picture of God's posture towards us.
He's not some angry judge with a gavel. He's a pleading father, all day long with his hands held out, waiting, just waiting for us to turn back home.
So the gospel isn't an invitation to climb, it's an invitation to stop. It's a call to trust, to rest in the finished work of Jesus Christ. He's not at the top of some impossible ladder. He's right here, with open arms, waiting for you to simply come to him, just as you are. The only question left is, will you accept his invitation?